Hi there, my name is Felix Becker, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I have been watching The Crown. I freaking love The Crown, and I am loving Season 4. Season 4 just dropped about a week or two ago. I'm not a binge watcher. I'm not a binge watcher at all, so it takes me forever. I'm about 5 episodes in, and I am absolutely loving this, which I think really is the cornerstone of YouTubing. You know, you gotta talk about stuff that you love. I'm just this season I've always enjoyed The Crown. Listen, I'm a crazy royalist. I'm a crazy royalist. I love the royal family. I love the depiction of the royal family. I do not know how true this stuff is. It seems reasonable. It seems reasonable. It's a fair depiction of reality to me. Season 3 was a bit wobbly. Let's say. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Season 3 wasn't in my mind the strongest. But Season 4, I think, I don't know. I think so far it's my favorite. I mean, really, I'm only 5 episodes in. So I figure we're gonna do. I'll do 5 sets of reviews. I'll do 2 episodes per review. They're gonna go a bit longer because I got like 10 pages of notes here from the first 2 episodes. I just spent the last hour and a half writing down my thoughts on everything whilst going through them. Before we get there though, can I ask you guys, can you hit the like button? That'd be great. Can you hit the share button? That'd actually be really, really good. Thank you very much. But can you hit the subscribe button? That'd be fan-freaking-tastic. YouTube is having a bit of a weird old time of late. It's decided that it doesn't like me much, which, don't get me wrong, I'm really grateful for the platform. I really, having gratitude for everything is a good thing. It just makes you a happier person. It does. It makes you a happier person. I am really grateful for the platform that they provide. And actually, they even pay me, okay? It's like pittance, maybe about $20 a month. But they even pay me, too. So, I'm very good. But, YouTube has been a bit weird since the beginning of this month. They've been peeling off subscribers from me a lot. So if you can hit the subscribe button, that'd be fan-freaking-tastic. If you subscribe, of course, you can enter my weekly competitions. The prize this week is Judge Dredd, the Complete Case Files, Volume 17. This one, this is basically everything from the year of Judge Dredd and Judge Dredd magazine in 2018. And it's got the mega epic in it. Judgment Day with his Judge Dredd, with all the judges from around the world. So I love that. I love all the other country judges, and they're fighting this guy called Sabat, who's a necromancer, raising the dead, engulfing. So it's written by Garth Ennis, like comics legend Garth Ennis. Also features a crossover with Strontium Dog, if you know what that means. Johnny Alpha, freaking awesome, absolutely freaking awesome. What you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and in the comments leave the hashtag Sabbat Shalom. Sabbat Shalom. I've explained it in many other videos while we're using that hashtag. Go check the video notes. It has everything you need to know there to win it. Just copy and paste that into the comments. While you're checking the video notes, you'll see a link right at the top for my sign up for my Indiegogo. This is essentially an ad for it right now. If you can go and you can sign up, that will be great. Thank you very, very much. I have two good graphic novels coming out in about 2-3 weeks, and I'm creating an email list for the campaign. So if you can sign your name to that email list, that is so insanely helpful. I mean, it's ridiculously helpful. Just click the link below. If you do click the link, I have some very tasteful, a bit risque, I would say a little bit risque art cards that you can get. You get one of with any purchase, but if you get both of the graphic novels, you get them all anyway. And then if you sign the sign up list, we'll give you like a 5th chase one. So anyway, just go check the notes if you can sign up. That would be fan-freaking-tastic. You know what else has been fan-freaking-tastic? The Crown Season 4. Absolutely loving it. So, okay, so now I am, I think as opposed to Season 3, I'm used to Olivia Colman in the role now. And for me, I think that's one of the big reasons I think I'm enjoying this season more than Season 3. So I don't know if the scripts are better this year. I really, it's hard for me to tell. Or I'm just more used to Coleman in the role, because she's playing a different role that Claire Foy played, and that overlap was uncomfortable. But now I'm buying Olivia Colman as this middle-aged queen, which I think is a distinctly different character from the one that the younger queen that Claire Foy played, so incredibly memorably. She was fantastic. Also, I'm used to Tobias Mendes now playing Philip, who's moved quite a lot from that Matt Smith Philip that we saw in the first 2 seasons. But again, for me, if you just judge it on its own merits, which it's easier now once you've been with them for a season. If you just judge it on his own merits, yeah, I'm buying his character. I'm buying the take on the character, and and I do like it. Where so the episode opens up and Charles is becoming a bit embarrassingly old to be an eligible bachelor, right? He's been dating a bunch of people. He hasn't been able to settle down with anyone since he's still basically seeing Camilla Parker Bowles, I think. Yeah, Camilla Parker Bowles, yes, as she was saying, married, and they know they can't, but they can't really stop themselves either. Although, yeah, I get the feeling building up willpower and self-control isn't the strong suit, or being royal life doesn't really cut you out for that at all. Charles is dating a bunch of people trying, but he's not really interested in anything, and he goes on one of his bizarre dates, and they are all bizarre dates with who is it, Samantha Spencer, who's the sister of the future Diana, well, the sister of Diana, but the future wife of Charles, Lady Di, the very, very famous Lady Di, who, again, I'm just showing you where I come from. I come from the 80s, and Lady Di was huge, and I can't wait for my wife to watch as well, because it was weird, because I'm from England, she was from Atlanta, America, and yet we were still transfixed by this incredible princess story, and seeing it from inside is just absolutely fascinating. So we get to see Charles's first meeting with Diana as he's waiting for this date. And again, I don't know what of this is true or accurate or not. It just all seems reasonable and works as character development. And that's something I really love about this show, because they take these iconic people you've only ever seen the public face of, and they make them into people, into three-dimensional characters, without betraying that public image, but leaning into it. So you can see why Charles is immediately attracted to her, because it's the first time, I think probably since Camilla, that again, he's still besotted with her, that somebody treats him kind of normally, trying to without the pomp and ceremony. And she's got a bit of but she does. But she's got this bit of a youthful rebellion with it, which I think just really, really appeals to him as a character. Also building to head is the tensions in Ireland, with Northern Ireland, with the Troubles and the IRA. So this is like really interesting, right? A really personal revelation I had, because I was brought up in London. I'm a Londoner, and it's fascinating, because I'm on other YouTube channels. I'm on the TARDIS Zone quite a lot. I stream with this guy called Ninja Knight, both Irish people, right? So both of them grew up on the other side of this conflict. We were on the other sides of this war. This was a war, and we were on the other side, and we both grew up with the narrative that our respective sides had. So I am like big in the bag for the royals and England, and they're like going through hell, like, it's terrible. So I think the show kind of reflects like the my worldview, at least the worldview that I grew up with more, and it is more sympathetic to them, and it's not sympathetic at all, I think, to the IRA, as we will see in this opening episode. What's the episode called? Gold Stick. Right? Gold Stick. I'm trying to think why it's called that. Anyway, so we're at the titles, and I normally sit through the titles because I kind of like the titles, and I like a TV show having a titles. I'm kind of old-fashioned that way. But moreover, I'm finding each episode of this season virtually self-contained. They have a beginning, middle, and end, while telling a greater narrative. Each episode is its own story. And I think could be expanded into a movie quite easily. So, it's like another hour's worth of stuff. I really think they could, each of these could be expanded. I think which just shows you what incredibly good storytelling this is. So rarely now do you get a beginning, middle, and end, and even more rarely do you get a beginning, middle, and end in episodic TV, which is normally everything now has a season arc, a season story. This does, and I just think it's great. It's one of the reasons why I just love the show. I think it's great. It's an absolutely great show. So after the titles, we're instantly introduced to just an absolute stunning standout from this season, Gillian Anderson's take on Margaret Thatcher, and oh my god, it's perfect, absolutely perfect, doing what The Crown does best, turning, again, what I said just now, turning these public facades, these public images of people into human characters. Now you see, this doesn't really happen. Again, I'm 5 episodes in. When I get to when I get getting more, I'll get in more. But I'm 5 episodes in, and episodes like 4 and 5 really get into a character. Look, Gillian Anderson is just doing an absolutely stunning job. She absolutely nails. She inhabits this character. I think probably eclipses John Lithgow's absolutely excellent take on Churchill as well. I do like how The Crown has these big American actors play very famous British prime ministers. So so she's great. Yeah, and again, I was brought up in London in the 80s. So, I have a very positive view of Margaret Thatcher. I like my family and pretty much my entire community, my entire world, did very well from Thatcherism. I didn't realize I saw it at the time because I was a kid, but I did see this incredible affluence be born from Thatcherism, right? But she was also just an incredibly divisive figure. But I got my friends Noel and Ninja Knight. They can't stand her. Like they think she's the worst ever. I'm watching this show and thinking, well, I think they're giving her a very positive, painting her in a very positive light, a very, very powerful, self-actualized person, like incredibly powerful and self-actualized, but still incredibly feminine, leading into very, very traditional feminine roles, which I think is so clever, and I think it's probably realistic of who that real person was. So another thing, but we got to talk about Gillian Anderson take it on Margaret Thatcher is it's been the cause, I think, of many very confused erections throughout the world. Many confused. Look, Gillian Anderson is somebody who I just think is intrinsically very, very sexy. I just do. I think it's partly because she's beautiful, partly because she's very, very smart. Or at least she appears to be very smart. I've never met her. It's a whole package. But so it goes way beyond her physical appearance, right? It goes really, really beyond, which is why I think that her sex appeal hasn't diminished at all as she's got older. In fact, probably it's increased, I would say. So here we have this weird situation, which I'm telling you, she looks and sounds and moves exactly like Margaret Thatcher, like Margaret Thatcher, but she still feels like Gillian Anderson. So she's got this sex appeal coming off her, even though it's Margaret Thatcher, who is the the black hole of sex appeal, right? So it's very weird. It's very weird, but still, again, she's doing an absolutely fantastic job. There's this wonderful scene that starts to fill in this, fascinating characterization of Thatcher, which they're doing in the show. After she's discussing her first meeting with the Queen. And she's discussing it with Dennis, her husband. Also, can't remember who's playing him, but he's just perfect, absolutely perfect. And it was a meeting of two very, very imposing and very, very strong and very, very powerful women. And after the meeting, right, we have Margaret Thatcher ironing her husband's shirt, which again, I just love it. I just love that. And she's talking about it. So she's talking about how impressed she was with the Queen, how like her work ethic, her intelligence, how she was able to pick the cabinet that she was starting with. But yeah, again, it's just really incredibly interesting. You've got this like self-actualized, commanding, powerful woman who takes so much pleasure performing, what looks to be the subservient role of traditional wifey duties, which is something that she takes so much pleasure and pride in. It's a dichotomy which they are going to explore more in the episode, and I think really explore it in the series. They explore it in just very, very well. Also explored is the class of cultures that Thatcher opens up, because she essentially brings the American ideal to England over the 80s. She makes it that class isn't really a factor anymore, and anybody who will put their shoulder to the grindstone and go to work can get those financial rewards, right? And again, look, if you're from the other side of the universe, if you've got somebody who always hated Thatcher, that's fine. Listen, I get it. She's an incredibly divisive figure. But for me, again, My family did very well because my family likes to work, you know, and I think most people who like to work and like to take responsibility did very well under that. I'm not saying it was perfect again, but this is something that they don't shy away from at all. And they get this is my childhood, and they're illustrating it so incredibly well. We get a bit of a glimpse at the dysfunctionality of the lives of the royals as you know, Anne is preparing to give up on a professional horse riding, whatever the hell that is. But it's a kind of a royally thing that royals do, right? Before being talked out of it from by her father, Prince Philip. Who yeah, both of them obviously connect very well. They're very, very similar people, and this is something that they're going to look at much more closely by the 4th episode. Which again, great episode. Like every episode this season so far, knocked it out the park. Just absolutely knocked it out the park. So you know, the extraordinary family drama takes really a sharp left turn in the middle of the episode where Lord Mountbatten is assassinated on a boat. The boat gets blown up by the IRA. So it's a sad farewell to Charles Dance's fantastic performance of him. And this is when I was about 8 or 9. So I just remember this being the biggest deal in the whole world. So again, I'm on a very different sides of the aisle from Noel and Ninja Knight. And the IRA are presented very, very poorly, taking glee in the killing of somebody who we're personally connected to now. I mean, even though he was a bit of a weird guy, and we are personally connected as a strange family member. So I don't know if this happened in real life, but in the show, they use Mountbatten's death as what spurs the family to move them forward in life. Charles accepts that he must find a wife. Like, it's never gonna happen with Camilla. That is just not possible. So that moves him forward and embraces professional horse riding and succeeds to the glee of Philip. Charles and Philip have this really interesting confrontation, which is almost like sibling rivalry, as they both were surrogate sons to Mountbatten, and he also got so you got Philip's anger at, like, firstly he's had his surrogate father taken away. But they also, Charles, like, why would you need a surrogate father? I'm your father. I was here for you. I was always here for you. So, you get, again, this real, absolute, genuine emotional drama played out very, very effectively. Again, it's why I love the show. It's why I absolutely love the show. So we have a chance meeting with Diana again towards the end of it. Played by Emma Corrin. Just knocking it out of the park. Another one, knocking it out the park. And we all know what's coming. It presages what's coming. Ending the first episode on a semi cliffhanger as they go out. As they prepare to go out on their first date, their first reasonably strange date, right? The first reasonably strange, which is, I think you could say that just about all of the royal interactions. So then I didn't binge watch. I waited another. I went to episode 2, the Balmoral test. Freaking awesome episode. Absolutely adored this one. So it's adapted. It could easily be adapted into a longer form movie, right? 'Cause it's got this just a really good, strong beginning, middle, and end, and it just works so incredibly well. So this episode focuses on the creepy weirdness that is the royal family's interpersonal relationship, and it focuses on the normality of the creepy weirdness of it, which. And it doesn't really look very pleasant at all from an outsider, but, I guess you get used to anything. And if you're born into something, it's the norm, right? So the royal family is sitting around doing normal, royal stuff. They're having breakfast together, discussing hunting a stag, that's a wounded stag that's come onto the estate. There's this bit of rivalry between Philip and Anne, and you can see why they're so close, because they're really much reflections of each other to a great extent. Charles continues his strange courtship with Diana. They're not touching each other or being left alone with each other, and there's like months between dates. Like, this is just a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Okay, so meanwhile, the establishment bulk at Margaret Thatcher's, the grey-haired establishment bulk at Margaret Thatcher's fiscal agenda. Again, putting wealth in the ability of the common person, right? The affluence and wealth within the reach of the common person, where it hadn't been before. And these things just are not done. They're completely not done. I've forgotten how badly things went for Thatcher for those early years. Again, I was very young, but I forgot about that. So we look at that. And we stay with the Thatchers as they go to Balmoral for a weekend. Must be probably their first and only weekend by the sounds of it. And strangely, the Thatchers at this point represent normal people, which is a bit strange. Represent us, intersecting with this strange world that they live in, that the royals live in. So Margaret has. Margaret Thatcher has so much disdain for royal life and the trappings of royal life being served needlessly. I think indolence, just idling time away, just niggles at her. She doesn't like it. She feels it's wrong, and especially when she feels there's like so much work to it, and she's so eager to do it. And she hates the idea of when they give them their suite in Balmoral. There's 2 bedrooms, one for Dennis, her husband, and one for her. And she just says, no, the lack of intimacy that is normal in royal marriages clearly disgusts her. And again, by this point, I have to say, Gillian Anderson is just so metamorphosized into Margaret Thatcher. I forgot she was Gillian Anderson, right? She's done that good a job. Equally, she's offended that anybody would tend to her husband's needs. Like, I love this. I absolutely love this. And she just sees it as it's her duty and responsibility, which she loves embracing. And for her, it's she's embracing her own femininity and her own power through it. Which is going to be something that's a bit axiomatic to younger people. I don't think a younger generation can really understand how somebody can be somewhat subservient, which is what wifely stuff is. At the same, making food, ironing your husband's shirt, doing stuff for something, and at the same time be self-actualized, be fully self-actualized, which she so clearly is. So it's very clear. It's very clear to me that this embracement of the traditional wifey feminine role is Margaret Thatcher's choice. It's her absolute choice, and to me it seems like it's a smart choice that she's making, because she's just so in control of her own destiny, and I think she wants to give that control to other people. But again, I think this is how the show is presenting her, but I have a positive view of her, and I think that positive view is being bolstered by the show. And I think it's really showing Margaret Thatcher's true innate understanding of femininity and the power of femininity, and how, like, ironing your husband's shirt is an expression of feminist entitlement, which is so bizarre and so strange. But again, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing on the show and what I'm really enjoying about it. But the clash of cultures in this episode is just agonizing, absolutely agonizing. The royals come home from a day of hunting the stag, and they're all wet and bedraggled, and they're enjoying like royalty cocktails, and the Thatchers turn up and they make a social faux pas. They don't wear cocktails before dinner, so they figure they have to dress for dinner as any normal person would. Although I can't believe they didn't have like a royal liaison to tell them what to do, like whatever. I guess that was a bit of a bit of an oversight. So they turn up dressed for dinner, and then the royals are like, I guess we can have dinner. The Queen tries to be polite, said, we'll have dinner early, and Prince Philip's like, what? It's like 6. What's wrong with you? But they have they have dinner early. The royals are like really pissed off. And they have like zero understanding. The royals have zero understanding that their lifestyle and what they want and what they do is just impenetrable to normal people, which is bizarre, but is what the Thatchers represent here, I think. So the agony of this culture clash continues throughout dinner, we have the Thatchers just simply don't understand the agendas, priorities, and even recreation of the royals, and they can't really comprehend it. As really most of us can't. It's a little bit understandable because we're like 4 seasons in to these it's like very, very bizarre, strange people's lives. Equally, the royals have no understanding of people not in their bubble. They don't understand why somebody would they find it vulgar that somebody would want to make money, right? They find money vulgar because they don't need any money. You'll find it is vulgar if you have unlimited supply of it. If you don't and you want to generate it, it's not so much. But again, so this is just the clash that we see going out through at the first half of this episode. After then, their parlor games. Oh, it gets even worse with the parlor games, and it's just disastrous. Everything is just disastrous. Philip afterwards is like, "What is wrong with these vile people? Can't stand them." You can see Thatcher just not understanding why anybody would want to waste their time doing these silly things when she could be like, I don't know, destroying the coal industry or whatever, why she just, it's like, this is just the most ridiculous waste of time in the world. So the rift continues and it gets even worse. I mean, they just double and triple, quadruple down. Gets even worse. The Queen throws out gives an olive branch to Thatcher to invite her to come stalking with them to help her make her feel more included. And Thatcher has no idea, what the hell stalking is. And then so she turns up in her heels and a blue coat and perfume, and the Queen's is just like, oh God, you're so vile and common. You don't know anything. You don't know about riding. You don't know about stalking. And she's very polite for all that, but you can just see the utter disdain, right? The utter disdain. So they're yomping across the wilderness, and Thatcher's basically like, look, I could go home and change if you want, but she goes back and does some work where she feels more comfortable. Unfortunately, she does it sitting in Queen Victoria's chair and gets a dressing down by Helen Bottom Carter's Princess Margaret, right? Who basically chides her at her lack of ability to relax and have fun. If that's all you do with your life, it seems a little bit empty to me. So Thatcher is somewhat saved at this point by a minor coup, it looks like a major coup, which she then has to leave and go and put down, right? And I think she's galvanized by her disdain for the old way of doing things, as personified by the royals. So the second half of this episode, we get this disastrous Balmoral visit, this absolutely disastrous Balmoral visit, juxtaposed with this incredibly successful, probably the most successful one ever, as Camilla talks Charles into inviting Diana to Balmoral for the weekend or so. And it's like the most incredibly successful Balmoral visit ever. She fits seamlessly into royal life, understands everything about the culture that she's in. It fits very, very easily in. You just feel the sigh of relief as the family go, oh, we have one of us. And they warmed at her immediately. The next day, Philip takes her out stalking, and she gets the goldest of gold stars when she spots the stag and Philip bags it, right? So by the end of the episode, Charles really has no choice but to marry her, right? It's weird. It's like watching a disaster movie. It's like watching a disaster movie because the whole thing is so inevitable, right? You can see there's no way of stopping this train, this disastrous train that's on its tracks, and it's very, very compelling viewing. So the clash of cultures between the old and new world, as represented by Thatcher and the Queen, is played out. And it's a really nice little scene towards the end, as the two of them meet, and the Queen basically condescends to Thatcher that you're just too common to understand their ways. To which Thatcher retorts that the recent culling in our cabinet was mostly defined by the older ministers who had lived a life of royal privilege and luxury, and then lacked the grit and the strength to move Britain forward. So this sets up a genuine conflict between the two, between the Queen and Thatcher, which I can see now they must have had this adversarial relationship somewhat I think probably softened as the country did better. Again, I'll find out when I watch the second half of the show, I guess, the second half of the season. With the Queen being shown, Thatcher, for all her commonness, right, all her commonness, is more than a match for her. And I just find I think that's gonna be interesting. So we end with a montage tying all the plot strands together, and again, it's Emma Corrin and Diana just knocking it out the park, absolutely knocking it out the park, and she recreates, news footage that I actually see as she's walking down the street, and you see the photographers like snapping at her, like taking pictures of her, and I've seen that. I remember seeing those pictures at the time and being excited and seeing her peer out from under her brow, and like this time you see it and you can see what's going on inside this character's head, and Emma Corrin is just like imbuing this facade, which is what the Crown, this is the third time I think I said it, it's what the Crown does, imbuing this facade of an image of a person with humanity, with depth, with character, and it's absolutely fantastic. So the Crown is back, baby. The Crown is absolutely back after a shaky third season. I think for me, it's probably the best it's ever been. It's really the best it's ever been. Can't wait to do the next reviews of episode 3 and 4. My name is Wheeler Beckett, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. Please do not forget, to go check out the sign-up list for my Indiegogo. That would be really, really freaking great. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a fantastic day.